The Sindang neighborhood, Yeouido and Jeju Island were the most popular tourist destinations for foreign visitors in 2023 and in the first quarter of this year, according to a big data analysis by the Korea Tourism Organization.
네, 한국관광공사의 빅데이터 분석에 따르면 작년부터 올해 1분기까지 외국인 관광객 사이에서 가장 인기 있었던 관광지가 서울 신당동과 여의도 그리고 제주도인 것으로 나타났습니다. Tell us more, Ray.
Very interesting. We were just talking about this in the break, that
Yeah.
it seems that over the last decade, a lot of the tourist destinations, the hotspots have changed.
Yeah,
You know, we'd be Insadong would have been one we would have seen.
Myeongdong,
Right. Haeundae and Busan,
Sure.
right? These kind of things. But yeah, now it's, Sindang for shopping. You've got Yeouido again for shopping
yeah.
because of the massive department store that was just built there that has a lot of pop-up stores. So a lot of young people and a lot of foreigners want to do that. And a lot of those pop-up shops, they feature different K-pop stars. So I think there's a lot of that.
Right.
I wonder, and my guess would be, a lot of these places must pop up on dramas, K-dramas. So
Yeah.
people want to go and see that and
Yeah.
experience where the characters in the shows go.
Right, and I would imagine influencers as well on social media.
Yeah,
They
that's-
probably show the area, and then that makes other people want to visit.
Right, that's the way it's going these days. But yeah, so that's what we're seeing. A lot of some, Jeju's no surprise, but maybe the other
Yeah.
two locations a little bit like, really? That's where tourists are trying to go?
Exactly. Let's get right into the main expression, which is tourist destination.
Tourist hotspots,
Yeah,
places that tourists want to go.
Tourist hotspot라고도 합니다. HOTSPOT. 관광객들이 많이 가는 곳이란 뜻이죠.
So we have tourist destinations. That's a whole place. A lot of times in a tourist destination, there are tourist attractions.
Yeah.
Something that people want to go and do or see or experience or taste, for
That's right.
example.
네, tourist destination이 훨씬 광범위하기는 합니다. 자, 그다음에 이제 big data, which is in Korean big data.
Oh, really? That's confusing. Okay. Right. Extremely large amounts of data. And then when it's analyzed,
Yeah.
now using AI because just simple, people can't analyze this much data.
Right.
And even computer systems that we've had for years aren't complex enough to handle this. So now it's with the rise of AI, now you'll hear big data more because the AI systems can analyze it. And when they do, this can reveal patterns and trends.
Yeah.
A lot of the times it'll show us things about human behavior, what people do, where people are going.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe a little bit of information as to why they're going to different places.
We can find out so much more. 이 빅데이터, 방대한 양의 데이터죠. 기존의 데이터베이스로는 분석할 수 없었던 것을 이제 요즘에는 할 수가 있는데 그런 데이터를 가지고 분석했더니 관광객들이 요즘에는 특히 작년과 올 1분기엔 가장 많이 찾은 곳이 신당동과 여의도와 제주도였다고 합니다.
And a lot of big data, it's collected from different places that you maybe wouldn't think of, but it makes sense though. So a lot of big data is collected from publicly shared information, like comments on social media or websites, data that's voluntarily gathered from personal electronics and apps and questionnaires and product purchases and
Yeah.
when people do electronic check-ins. So they're using all this information and putting all this into the system to figure out what people are doing.
Absolutely. Let me read the headline again. The Sindang neighborhood, Yeouido and Jeju Island were the most popular tourist destinations for foreign visitors in 2023 and in the first quarter this year, according to a big data analysis by the Korea Tourism Organization. Let's move on to the next headline.
Mexicans are likely to elect their first female president as two women lead the race for the top job, which is set to be decided on Sunday.
오는 일요일에 있을 멕시코 대선에서 두 여성 후보가 유력 주자로 나서면서 멕시코 역사상 첫 여성 대통령이 탄생할 가능성이 높아졌습니다. Wow, tell us more.
Well, they're saying this election, it will be historic, especially if one of these women becomes president. But they're also saying it will be the biggest election in Mexico's history There are more than 20,000 congressional and local positions up for grabs. So this has been it's going to be a historic election. But also, though, there's been a lot of violence leading up to this election.
Yeah.
A number of, now it's gangs and cartels. We use the word cartel a lot for Mexican gangs. They're drug gangs. They've, it's been a bit of a turf war. They're saying more than 20 people who have been seeking political office this year have been killed.
Yeah, exactly. So they're saying that this election is a pretty dangerous one for the candidates.
It sure sounds like it.
Yeah.
The two front runners, you've got the former mayor of Mexico City, Claudia Sheinbaum. She's maintained a comfortable double-digit lead in polls for months, and she promises a continuation of Manuel Lopez Obrador's populist policies, and she's backed by his party. And then you've got an opposition senator. She's a tech entrepreneur. Her name is Xochitl Galvez. I believe I'm pronouncing that somewhat similar. And she represents a coalition of parties that really, historically, have not been united. But now they're becoming united because of their opposition to the ruling party, to Lopez Obrador.
Well, the election is on the 2nd of June, which is this coming weekend, Sunday. And we'll find out. All right. The first expression here is someone or two people are leading the race.
It means they're currently in first place. In this case, lead the race. Scheinbaum's first and Galvez is second, but they're still in the lead. So if you look at any table or any standings, any professional sports, who's leading the race, who's currently in first place, but it doesn't mean the competition or the season or the election is over yet.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just at the moment.
특히 이런 선거에 관해서는 race라는 표현을 많이 써요, 영어에서. 그래서 lead the race라는 것은 대선 대선주자라는 의미가 되겠고, join the race 그러면은 이제 대선 후보가 됐다라는 의미가 되고요. 네, 이게 달리기에 비유를 많이 합니다. 그다음에 top job라는 게 뭐죠?
In this case, we're talking about becoming the president. The top job is the highest job you can get in a country or an organization as well.
Exactly. The top job for our team would be the chief producer.
Right.
But of course, in a country, we're talking about the president.
That's right.
여기서는 이제 가장 높은 위치에 있는 사람을 말하니까 이 대선의 경우에는 대통령직을 말하겠죠. 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. Mexicans are likely to elect their first female president as two women lead the race for the top job, which is set to be decided on Sunday. Now here's our final headline.
A Chilean mother has walked over 1,000 kilometers on foot to raise money to cover the medication costs for her 5-year-old son, who is suffering from a rare and severe genetic disorder.
칠레의 한 어머니가 희귀 난치성 유전 질환을 앓고 있는 아들의 약값을 마련하기 위해 지금까지 1,000km가 넘는 거리를 걸으며 모금 운동을 해온 것으로 알려졌습니다. In many Western countries, they do walks or runs to raise money. I don't see it happening that much in Korea, but just a little background info for our listeners there. 외국에서는 모금 행사를 하기 위해서 이렇게 걷거나 달리는 경우가 많아요. 어릴 때부터도 외국에서 아이들은 이제 뭐 이런저런 이유로 모금 행사를 하게 되면은 제가 800m를 뛸 겁니다. 그러면 후원해 주세요. 이러면서 아이들이 주변 분들에게 얘기를 하거든요. 그런 맥락이라고 보시면 되겠습니다. 물론 굉장히 긴 거리지만요. So tell us more, Ray.
Well, this mother, she's 32 years old from Chile, Camilla Gomez. She's walked over 1,000 kilometers for the past month to raise money for her 5-year-old son. Her destination is the capital, Santiago. When she reaches there this week, she's actually scheduled to meet with the Chilean president about this. She plans to give him a letter detailing all the challenges that patients and families who deal with rare diseases face. She intends to use the funds that she's raised to seek specialized medical care for her son in the United States. Her son has something called Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and this affects muscles and nerve function. It also makes the disease also significantly weakens muscles, and it makes walking and daily activities extremely difficult. she set out on this journey to raise 3.5 billion pesos, which is about 5 billion won.
I see.
Just under $5 million. So it's a lot of money.
그렇습니다. 4월 28일부터 걷기 시작했대요. 지금도 여전히 걷고 있으니까 지금 한 달이 넘은 거죠. 그리고 목적지는 산티아고. 거기서 이제 대통령과도 만나서 네, 이런 상황입니다라고 설명을 할 예정이라고 합니다. 자, she's doing this to raise money, and that's going to cover the costs.
Hopefully, if something covers the costs, it means there's enough money to pay for something. A lot of times you'll ask or you'll request or you'll demand if you feel you've been wronged by a company, for example, and you've had to pay money. Oh, you need to cover the costs for this. You need to cover my cost.
그렇죠. cover costs는 비용을 대다, 비용을 충당하다라는 뜻이 되겠습니다. Her son has a genetic disorder.
Right. So genetic disorders, they happen when there's a mutation to DNA.
그렇죠. 유전적인 질환, genetic disorder입니다. 구체적으로는 이제 근육신경계통의 희귀 질환을 앓고 있다고 하는데요. 그래서 이렇게 모금 행사를 하고 있다고 합니다. Well, here's the headline again. A Chilean mother has walked over 1,000 kilometers on foot to raise money to cover the medication costs for her 5-year-old son, who is suffering from a rare and severe genetic disorder. And that's it for today's headlines.